So as an organization, Box Elder County pays the bill. So being an employee of Box Elder County makes you eligible for our services. And like I said, as we're not associated with an insurance company or something like that, it gives us some flexibility in a lot of ways. One, of course, is we're not billing in any form. There's no co-pays, none of that stuff. When you're in our office, we're not going to talk about money, unless that's one of the life problems you want to talk about. But we also are here to help you with your families as well. And our definition of a dependent is basically anyone that lives in your home. And that can flex quite a bit of situations. So we want to be a resource, not something that, insurance companies and some EAP programs, they don't really want you to use the service. They're kind of doing the opposite, trying to make it harder for you to get there because that keeps the bills lower and so forth. The opposite is true. Regardless of how much you guys utilize us, it's not dependent on any kind of fee scale or pay scale or anything like that. So we can be very flexible. So we take a solution-focused, short-term approach to counseling, which is, there's no set session limits. Some places say, oh, you get 3 sessions or 5 or 7. We take it case by case. And our average in helping people right now is between 4 and 6 sessions, being able to successfully get someone in and help them through their life problem. That's an average. We don't use that number to determine how long people can stay or not. We don't like to get hung up on those numbers. But there are times, 10% of the time, according to our research, that people need a little bit longer term or more specific treatment than that we do provide. And in those situations, we're an excellent resource. The solutions that we can help you with would be to connect you with resources outside of our agency as well, in a lot of forms. So, okay. We are available all the time. We have a therapist on call 24 hours a day. So even if you have a life problem at 3 o'clock in the morning, you can give us a call and we can be of service to you. That also includes critical incidents that might be part of what happens at work. We can be on site if there are issues happening, and we can be a valuable resource that way. We honor confidentiality. That's a very important thing. Sometimes with an employee assistance program, the company's providing a benefit. Employee might feel like that somehow that we report back to the county on what they came in to talk about and what they say. That's not true. We follow all the HIPAA laws of confidentiality, which basically state that you're in charge of what we talk about to other people. So you can go and tell whoever you want, but if you want us to talk to someone about our counseling, then we'll have you sign a release of information. So short of that, it's confidential. Of course, other things that are outside of confidentiality laws are safety concerns, of course. So if someone's a danger to themselves or others, we're required by law to report that. Not to Box Elder County, though, but to the people that are involved, whether that's law enforcement or whether that's family members. So, okay. And not only can we help with your personal and family life issues, but we can also help you with getting along with your coworkers better or being involved in some training to help improve productivity or morale or any number of things. So, as I mentioned before, we call ourselves High Engagement EAP. We want to be involved. We want you to use our service, and we want to be in this building and others, making sure we're providing service. So, some benefits of utilizing an EAP as an individual as well as an organization. 87% of people who come in to see an EAP improve their well-being by the time that they leave in some form. There's a lot of benefits to that. From an organizational standpoint, it decreases absenteeism and increases productivity, right? Because if I have some sort of life problem following me around, I'm probably thinking about it at work, probably engaged in it at work, people calling me, those kind of things. So EAP has a lot of benefits from an individual and company standpoint. So to utilize the service, all you have to do is make a phone call. You can call any of the numbers on that card. If you call the Ogden or Logan numbers, you'll most likely run into Michelle or Jolene, and they're very knowledgeable about the service. They'll take care of you. So what you can expect when you call is that Michelle or Jolene will greet you, and she'll say something like, well, what company do you work for? And say Box Elder County, and she's like, all right, when's the best time to get you in? And she'll help you to identify a therapist and time that works best for you. We have a whole range of therapists, different times of day, evening hours, even some Saturday hours, depending on where you're at and which therapist. So we do our best to make sure you have available services that way. So our official in-person offices are up here around you. Would be the Logan and Ogden areas, so right behind the mall in Logan and by McCady Hospital in Ogden. And then we also have other opportunities if you want to stay local. We've started this year doing video counseling sessions, which is working pretty well through a program that's called Zoom, which is HIPAA compliant, so it's protected and confidential. And we also have local affiliates that contract with us. They're not necessarily employees of Blomquist Hale, like if you came to Ogden or Logan, but they're great. They're good clinicians, and we have a good relationship with them. So it all starts with a phone call to our office to receive any of those services. So, all right, let's see. Did I miss anything, Diane? Sometimes I do this presentation a few times and I feel like I missed stuff. No? Okay. Yep, so you'll see posters like this hanging up. There's tear-off pages. These cards that you have, Jenica, Diane, Melissa, and your other supervisors will have stacks of these cards you can hand out to your friends or coworkers, or get one for yourself as well, so you can have that information. Okay, questions about Blomquist Hale?
Do you have a list of providers anywhere?
Yes and no. Here in Brigham City, we contract with Associated Psychotherapists, so there's 5 therapists there. There's John, Jason, Christy, and I forgot Christy's name last time. Now I can't remember. One other female therapist. Anyway, there's 5 there, and then we have Troy Hartman and Courtney Henry, who have offices in the building kitty corner to this building. Those are the 7 we have here locally. And it's pretty easy, well, if the other therapist agrees, to add people. So if you know of a therapist in Tremonton or somewhere else in Brigham City that's not one of our providers and would like us to look into that, we're happy to offer contracts to these other therapists as well. So, but there's not necessarily a list. You can go click on it on our website or anything like that, unfortunately. You can look at all of our, like myself and all of our therapists in Logan and Ogden. There's 2 in Logan, there's 10 in Ogden, and of course in our Murray office there's 20 or something. Or you can look at all those, but not the affiliates. Yeah, good question.
So if you have them, you say you have a program and you have someone,
Yeah.
and they contact you to become an affiliate?
Yes,
Okay.
potentially. Yeah, or you can call us specifically and ask that we reach out to them.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm. The way it works with our affiliates is, like I said, there's no set session limits, but the way we work it logistically is that we authorize 3 at a time, 3 sessions at a time. And the first session is for assessment and get to know you and make sure that you fit this kind of short-term model. And then, so you call in, you get set up, we get you set up with those therapists. We'll do that for you the first session. And then after that, if that therapist thinks you need more sessions, then that therapist is required to request further authorization, not you guys. So if you're ever with an affiliate and they say, oh, you only get so many sessions. Well, they've misunderstood how things work. Give us a call, let them know, hey, no, you just need to call them and work it out. But please call me if you hear anything, if you have feedback. Otherwise, sometimes with an affiliate, they all kind of do their own things, and so you get a little bit more complicated experience than if you came to Ogden or Logan or did a video session with us. So, good question. What else? Other questions about our services? Well, you're always welcome to call anytime, even if you don't have to identify yourself. You just call and say, hey, I got this thing going on. Is that something you guys can help me with? Most likely the answer is going to be yes in some form. And you're always welcome to call and ask anytime. So.
Well, my mother-in-law passed, and you have the financial, do they have to probate or help me understand the financial?
They can. Sometimes there's a little bit of limit to that if you need a licensed financial planner, for instance. We don't have any of those on staff, but we have relationships with them where you can at least get consultations.
Gone through an attorney and everything now.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
pretty much
So we have,
but I just
yeah.
wondered if that was something that
Yeah, in the future, yeah. We have a relationship with a law firm in Salt Lake, not Hershey anymore, Steele, I remember there's 4 names, all law firms have. But you call this number still and you say, hey, I'd like to talk to an attorney, and we'll set you up with a phone call or in-person consultation to walk you through some of that stuff. Good question. Anything else? Okay, 16 minutes. I went over. Apologize. Okay. Well, please, we're happy to work with you. Give us a call. Utilize us. We want you to. And let us know how we can be of service to you. Okay. Thank you guys for coming. Yes, please clap. Please clap.